Hey, friends. Hope you're having a great Thursday, an amazing June so far. I am super excited for us to get started with tonight's interview for Let's Talk Business. Oh, goodness gracious. So, as we get things squared and settled away, here we go. I love as you pop in to let me know where you're tuning in from, just to get some interaction going. And then also, we should be having our Lady of the Hour here to join in just a moment. Um, Here we go. So I don't know about you, I am super, super pumped about tonight. So let me go ahead and invite some folk to join us. These buttons are all to the backwards. Let's see. I think. So I can have just my viewers, but not invite folks. So we'll just have to get this going as it goes. Yay! There she is. Okay. Hey, hey. Hey.
Hey. Hi, hi.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
All right. A little bit of feedback on my end. Hold on.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
All right. Is that better?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
perfect. Yeah. So that's my
Super
fault, not yours.
awesome. Hey, Janelle. Awesome. Okay. So I don't normally run in the whole kind of excitement spectrum. I kind of hang out in the okay, cool. But I am seriously pumped, you guys, about tonight and about having this amazing lady here who is willing to take out time from her schedule to join us. And so this is the incredible Samantha Lee Wright. So if you're not familiar with who she is and the work that she does, she is a North Carolina based doula as well as a podcaster and wellness, purpose, and abundance activist. I don't even know if that's a proper word for it, but
I'll claim
you're
it.
very
I
much,
like that. I'll
yeah, I
take
mean, that's part of what you
it.
promote in such a huge way. So being able to show people that there really is a way to be able to break free from convention. Hello. So, with her on tonight, she is am I correct in saying you are a Young Living Gold leader?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Super. Okay, and I always make sure to ask this because just to give people a sense of what that means in terms of team size. So for your team, are we talking 700-ish
We're
people?
talking above 600. It's sort of
Okay,
will
cool.
like we
Dang.
had some inactive people go inactive last month that put it to the lower 600 side. Yeah.
Okay, but nevertheless, I mean, that's really, really amazing. I mean, I'm sitting right now with 60, so I'm just, hey, you know what?
Hey, that's a place to
Aspiring.
start. That's great. That's
There
great.
you go. Oh, thanks. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
so
that's 60 lives changed. I mean, because that's like
exactly.
we don't have. That's what I love about Young Living. We don't have a single member under us whose life isn't getting changed for the better somehow. Whether they're just a user or if they're embracing that abundance aspect, like it's just
Mm-hmm.
incredible. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. Yay! So we are going to get started here. And as you guys are hopping on, please be sure to send lots of likes and hearts because that's going to send out a nice little message to the rest of the Facebook world of, hey, you want to come over and check on what's going on in this corner of the world. So to get ourselves started, goodness gracious, I think I had oh no, my notes. I'll be right back. Real life.
And
Here
I'll
we go.
talk to the void of Facebook. But thanks for
Okay.
tuning in, everyone who's here. And if you want to share this video, that's always fun. And if you're watching the replay, I would just love to see those little hashtag replays in the comments. It's like time travel for me. Like I don't know if that happens to you, Lydia, but sometimes I'll do like a Facebook live video from
Uh-huh.
2 or 3 years ago, and you completely forget
Mhm.
about it, and then all of a sudden it pops up in your notifications of like replay, watching, and you're like, oh my god, I forgot about that.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to that point of
yeah.
coolness. Slowly making my way there. I can say for sure. So I know so if you're not familiar with the Essential Oils Revolution, it is the number one essential oils podcast in the world. and this is the host, amazing. As well as the fact that she not only has that as a way for people to connect with that wellness lifestyle and is interviewing people from across the gamut, but she also has the business boot camp, which I've got to say was one of the first pieces that I listened to with getting even into the mindset of doing a business. So it was incredibly helpful to have those pieces there to just give that step by step walkthrough of you can do this, just take your time with it, keep yourself in that place of just organizing and presenting, and it's going to get there. So thank you so much again for all the ways that
I'm
you blessed the
so
community.
glad that you found the boot camp helpful. I feel like I created the boot camp, gosh, maybe 2 years ago,
Okay.
give or take. I feel like I want to give it a reboot, like polish it up and redo some of the sections, but with all that spare time.
True. Oh my goodness, that's right. And I guess that's something to even think about. So kind of getting into your story because you basically I guess the way that I summarized it when I put a reminder on my page was you basically went from you and your family being um, in a place where you're below the poverty line and um, you're wanting to find something different, find something better. You were seeing people around you who were making crazy amounts of money in terms of how much they would make in a month was more than what you were making in a year. And then going, okay, I should be able to do that. I'm going to do that. And then from there to, I guess, how many years was it? I don't know if it's been 5 years. I think it's been five. I don't know.
4 total that I've been with Young Living.
Okay, so you're hitting the 4 year career basically, and
Hmm.
you're hitting it at goal. That's awesome. And so going from being in that place to now, was it last year? It was last year that you retired Sean Bay, right?
Yeah, 1 year ago, almost to the day. I think on my Facebook memory, it sort of popped up of I was like, oh my God, that year went by so fast.
Yeah, so
Um,
fast.
yeah,
That's so cool.
super
That's
fast.
so amazing. Yeah, so I guess in that process of when you were starting, I guess how did you get started? I mean, was it one of your doula clients? Was it just someone that you was a neighbor, or how'd that get started?
Like, who's my sponsor? How did I sign up with Young Living?
I guess how did you hear about Young Living, and then yes, how did you get started?
Yeah, so kind of both at the same time. I had
Mm-hmm.
like a doula colleague of mine, or I live in a small town, so all of the doulas we
Mm-hmm.
know each other. Not that we
Yeah.
necessarily work together, but like we know each
Mm-hmm.
other. We'll meet up on occasion when there's like
Yeah.
a need, and so I knew her. Her name's Becky, and we both
Mm-hmm.
live in the same town. We are both doulas, and we're both kind of, actually I didn't know this about her till later, but we were both pretty crunchy, and so eventually I forget how it happened, but somehow we started doing these raw milk runs together. So
Mm-hmm.
we were both like, she had the hookup to know where to get the raw milk in Boone,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, Becky, hook me up, let's do this. And it's so funny because we would
Mm-hmm.
ride together out to this farm to get the raw milk, and we did that a good
Mm-hmm.
like 2 or 3 times together in the car, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting next to her the whole time she's been doing Young Living, and she doesn't say anything to me. She
Oh.
doesn't mention it. I have no
Mhm.
idea. And then like months later, I see on
Mhm.
occasion, I see on my Facebook feed, she'll post some essential oil stuff, and I'd go to a potluck
Mhm.
or whatever, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, so and so Becky, she's teaching about essential oils." So
Mhm.
eventually, I mean, so it was on my radar, but not in a way of
Mhm.
like anything serious.
Mhm.
And then one day I was on Facebook and I was really curious about Becky's doula business because I was really ready to take my doula business to the next level. So I messaged Becky saying, "Hey girl, like, how's work going for you?" Not
Mhm.
realizing that I was asking her a question about how's work going, as in, she was a blogger and essential oils. I was really just asking about
Mhm.
birth work. And she
Mhm.
answered back, "It's going great. I'm making 8 grand a month. My husband's retired now. And it's just going great." And I was just like, what the F? Like, that was literally, I was just like, what just happened? Like, Becky? Like, so I was like, girl, what's going on? Like, can we meet up? We got to talk about this. Like I
Mm-hmm.
need to make that kind of money. And she was like, yeah, let's go
Yeah.
grab coffee. Like, yeah, it's the essential oils. It's just going really, really well. And so
Um,
we grabbed coffee,
mm-hmm.
and it's kind of the funniest story because so like this is not how most people get started in Young Living, but when I
Mm-hmm.
sat down and across the coffee table from Becky, and on the
Mm-hmm.
table between us was this box of essential oils, and I just kind of
Mm-hmm.
kept looking down at the box and looking at my friend Becky, like
Mm-hmm.
back and forth, just going $8,000 a month, back and forth, just like, what is going on here? How is I did not understand. And the whole
Yeah.
time I'm just sitting there waiting for her to tell me exactly how
Mm-hmm.
this works and how I can make this kind of money too. And she won't
Mm-hmm.
do it. She wouldn't do
Mm-hmm.
it. She all she wanted to
Mm-hmm.
talk about was Seed to Seal and the Young Living Farms and like how many lives are being changed and these like mamas who are getting their kids,
Mm-hmm.
off of their asthma medicine and just all these
Yeah.
things. And I was like, cool, cool, cool. Show me the money. Like where's the money? And she just like she wouldn't do it. And it's she was either just not understanding where I was coming from, or she's just this
Mm-hmm.
genius who understands that like
Yeah.
that's not what it's about, because it's not what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And that well, this is sort
Yeah.
of getting ahead, but that is sort of what I
Yeah.
think held me back a little bit in the beginning, is I was
Mm-hmm.
so focused on the money. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
I just want to share that for some people who might kind of
Yeah.
be in that situation where it is important to them to make this become a business, and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then secondary is that, oh, and I get to make money by helping all these people,
Mm.
right? Like,
True.
which is
Yeah.
so amazing. And it took me a
Mhm.
long time to put that in the forefront of my business, and that held me back
Wow.
for a little bit of
That's
time. But anyway,
yeah.
we left
Mhm.
the coffee shop, and I was like, so like, can I join your team? Is that how this, like, how does this work? And she was like, oh,
Yeah.
just read this book, and then we'll chat more about it and give it a lit. And so she gave me the 4-year career book, and I read it,
Mm.
cover to back, the whole, like, in a single night. And then from
Yeah.
there, the rest is history. I was all in from the beginning.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. So for you, it was no, I mean, the oils, yeah, okay, whatever. But seriously, what is happening with this in
Yeah.
terms of,
And I think that a lot of people might
Mhm.
feel some shame around that if that's in the position they're
Yeah.
at. But, like, I mean, my life was food stamps, poverty,
Hmm. Hmm.
stress all the time, because
Hmm.
of money, and
Yeah.
no options really. I didn't graduate from college. I never
Hmm.
had like a steady career. My
Hmm.
husband's an artist slash carpenter. Like, we just didn't have a lot of options
Yeah.
really. And this was
Yeah.
the first time someone told me, oh,
Hmm.
you actually do have another option. Like, you can hire
Wow.
yourself as your own CEO
Hmm.
and become an entrepreneur in a way
Yeah.
where you don't have to build an entire empire business from scratch. Like, you can hire,
Wow.
basically I see it as you can hire on
Hmm.
this partner called Young
Hmm.
Living that will
Hmm.
partner with you and allow you to build a business alongside them and grow. And that's just not
Very
an
cool.
opportunity that's given to a
Hmm.
lot of low income people with low education. It's just
Mm.
not.
Yeah, that is so, so poignant. And I was going to answer really quick because someone was asking. So, explaining, would you like for me to explain what a doula is, or would you like to explain what a doula is? Because I
Oh,
heart doulas.
yeah. I love to hear other people's explanations. So you go, girl.
Yeah,
And just so you
so,
know, I can kind of see the comments as they come up, but they don't stay up. So I'll listen.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no worries. Okay, I'm not going to put on my geek hat, so we're just going to keep it real simple. So, a doula is someone who assists ladies in the process of laboring and birthing their children. So, they're meeting with them at different points along the way, almost the same way that they would meet with their OB, but it's with the purpose of really getting to know that particular lady, get to know that mom to be, as well as a family, key in on the different things that they would like to have as their birth dream, if you will. So, what are the things that they would like to have available? What are the things that they wouldn't want to have available? What kind of interventions are they comfortable with or not comfortable with? So, when you're in that very potentially high pressure situation of being in a hospital, if they choose to do a hospital birth, and there's a whole myriad of decisions that are coming at them left, right, and center. You're birthing a baby. It's not really the time to ask questions. So this is someone who has gotten to know you well enough ahead of the time that they can go, oh yeah, before you do that, didn't we talk about, you mentioned something about not necessarily wanting to do a walking epidural. So how about we walk through some options here and see what's available. Yeah, but basically there as a coach, a guide, a support, an advocate, just all about the moms. Love them, love them, love them.
And the dads.
Right.
I love the dads. Let me tell you, like our
Yeah.
dads are our best word of mouth because they'll be at the grocery store and run into their buddy and oh, you're having a baby. Oh my God, you've got to hire a doula. Like
Yes, that's right.
because it takes the pressure off. It takes out the pressure off the dad knowing what to do, and they get to experience that birth as well,
Yeah.
which like a lot of people don't think about. But nowadays a lot of dads or partners want to be there and experience that birth, and that's it's not always easy, especially if they've never seen birth. And so I get to help create a really magical experience in that birth room for that partner. I always tell my clients, like, I don't want your memories being of like me staring into your eyes and telling you how wonderful you are. Like, I want you to remember those moments with your partner. So I'm going to help him or her know the right moments to step in and what to say and what to do and how to touch and things like that. So, but we could go on and on about doula work because it's my jam. But
it's my heart.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a doula, but I come from a line of midwives, so it's kind of a thing.
Cool.
Yes.
And I always say, midwives handle, pelvis up and then, or no, midwives handle pelvis down, doulas handle pelvis up. So we focus on, a midwife's job is to keep you and your baby alive. That's not my job. Like, I'm there to make you feel happy and awesome and like you totally rock. So.
Very cool. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like I said, we could easily get into a whole long conversation about all the things that just, oh my gosh, doula work. How do you incorporate? So, all right. So, oh my gosh. So that explains how you got started with the business side of Young Living. And then I feel like you actually touched on this a little bit. But as I think it's fair to say as a free spirit in terms of you're just going, I am here to enjoy all that life has to offer. And when I do that, that allows me to be able to love well and to live well and to just be present and to just do all things without the awe. I mean, stress happens, but to be able to not be in that place where it binds you. So to be in that state or to be of that state of mind, how then did the Young Living culture come across to you? Because I know there are different ways, of course, that people will see the Young Living culture. So what in particular impressed you about Young Living from your perspective? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, this is such a great question. And to be honest, I didn't have a lot of experience when I started with other network marketing companies. I had actually never even heard the term network marketing or MLM before.
Well,
Before Young Living. And then once I was in that world, I started coming across a lot of, other companies and other businesses and kind of interacting with some of those cultures. And it didn't take me long to find out that like we really have something so special in Young Living because the culture is so it's just so authentic and so focused on what's really important in life. And it's not all just about the money, which a lot of other companies and I'm not saying that's a bad thing to focus on the money, but sometimes that can be the only focus to the detriment of balance. And so, like the fact that Gary Young partnered up with the ULA guys and was like, our people need this message, which if you're not familiar with the ULA guys, they're amazing. I actually just interviewed them the other day for the summit that I'm hosting in October. And I love those guys. I love what they do. And the fact that Gary Young saw that and went, life balance, friends, family, faith, health, fun. Like these are important things. And we want our people to be incorporating that. We don't want our people just pedaling, hustling.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about. And that truly, you can truly see that in the heart of everything. I mean, with Gary especially, I mean, he played more than any CEO I think on the planet, you know, with his huskies and his jousting.
Yeah.
Like what a for lack of a
Yeah.
better word, like what a weirdo, you know, like what a weirdo to be like, I'm gonna put a jousting ring in my farm and I'm gonna, you know, like so fun in the best sense of the word, like
Yeah.
so much fun. Like he has such
Yeah.
personality, and I think that that culture
Hmm.
really emanates through
Yeah.
all of the people in Young Living, even to just my
Yeah.
personal sponsor, Becky.
Hmm.
You know, we would sometimes have these meetings where we'd sit down
Hmm.
and you know work on my business, and I was always so
Hmm.
business like focused and like, okay,
Yeah.
Becky, like here's my calendar for the week, and here's the hours I'm gonna work. And she'd look at my
Hmm.
little schedule and just be like, Sam, there's no time in here for you. Like she
Hmm.
basically told
Wow.
me like don't work so much, like it, you know, and she's my
Hmm.
sponsor, she could benefit from me just, you know, hustling till I die. But she's
Yeah.
like, Sam,
Yeah.
like you need to spend more time on yourself here, you know. And I'm
Wow.
constantly reminded of that with
Hmm.
so many people in the Young Living community. So I really
Hmm.
appreciate that.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And I guess even I'm trying not to be green. I'm trying not to be green. I'm not going to be green. I'm going to be as yellow as possible. Here we go.
Embrace your green, girl.
Bring my green. So this is a question that I end up hearing a lot in terms of like you're saying and please if you do not feel comfortable in terms of answering the question, totally okay. Um in terms of going, okay, getting started. Now, when you're getting started, it was a kit for $160. It's just, okay, that is basically all I have for groceries. And now I'm going to put it towards this little box that supposedly or hopefully is going to make me all sorts of money. So, was there ever that play out in your head of, or how did that play out in your head of, okay, I am now about to put myself in a position where I have to make this work because I have to make this work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think honestly, it's not a moment I remember very clearly, so I must not have
Okay.
taken it as seriously as maybe I should have. But
Yeah.
I think that, which is really true for a lot of my life decisions,
Yeah.
but or money decisions. But
Yeah.
I do I do remember at that time like there wasn't any
Mm.
doubt either. And that's
Mm.
something that I wish I could give to every single beginning
Mm.
business builder is to
Yeah.
take the doubt away. And I don't
Mm.
know where that came from necessarily, but I had no doubts in my mind that this was going to work. And I think
Wow.
part of where that came from
Mm-hmm.
was from my sponsor Becky, which is it's funny
Uh,
because I mean we were never very close like friend wise. Like we're
mm-hmm.
still becoming friends. Like we'll get together and the
Wow.
bond is still growing stronger. We were never
Yeah.
that close. She was always this sort of
Mm-hmm.
peripheral character in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
the kind of character who I never really admired or looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
and I talk to her about this all the time. Like I totally underestimated her. I guess that's a better word for
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
And so she's not like this bright, sparkly person. She's not, you
Mm-hmm.
know, incredibly genius that I knew. I mean, now I'm like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, Becky's a genius. But back then I was like,
Yeah.
I just, I totally underestimated her. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
she was the epitome of the normal, average mom, like stay at home mom.
Oh,
And so I saw Becky, and I just, in my mind, over and over again, was just like, well, she can
mm-hmm.
do it, I can do it. Well, she can
Got
do
it.
it, I can do it. Like that was just a constant message
Mm-hmm.
in my head. And that
Wow.
really helped me take away all the doubts.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
because I saw that she succeeded in it, and you know she
Mm-hmm.
said yeah just teach, you know, just start teaching these classes, and she sent me a script and I said okay, like just did it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it took away the doubts that it would ever fail. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. So that's like, okay, so basically you're saying that you're just, okay, how do I get started? But you never went to a class. She was attempting to walk you through seed to seal, and you're going, okay, yeah, 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 whatever.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
how do I
whatever.
get
Yeah.
that? That is so awesome. And
And
so
it's
I guess,
interesting that you bring up,
mhm.
sorry to interrupt, but you bring up that
No, go for it.
I never went to an essential oil class. The
Hmm.
same is true for Becky, my sponsor,
Oh.
Myra, her sponsor, Royal Crown
Hmm.
Diamond,
Hmm.
and maybe even her sponsor too, Royal Crown Diamond, Alyssa Francis. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But I remember learning that about Myra
Hmm.
and Becky for sure and going, huh, there's just something to like not
Hmm.
letting like making that decision and not letting anything
Hmm.
get in your way, you know, of
That's
like,
so
oh, I've never been to a
interesting.
class, so how could I teach one? Never crossed my
Hmm.
mind. Never crossed my mind.
Wow. Wow. That is so interesting. Food for thought. I'm liking this. And okay, so then so there wasn't the place of doubt for you in terms of starting. So then the next question is, um, with having these classes and inviting people to come and having them to connect, um, that tends to be where people have the second place of an obstacle or a rub of, okay, I could, but I don't know anyone who would be willing to purchase this or to do this with me. Um, and I feel like that's really, I'm recognizing that's part of a mindset and a perspective thing. Again, I could be the whole just we spend on what we want to spend in terms of what matters to us. But I realize that to a certain degree that can be really insensitive, and that's not where I'm coming from. Nevertheless, I mean, so was that something that you ran into in terms of the people that you were initially doing classes with or connecting with them also being in that below the poverty line setting, or was that just, you know what, that's not even on my radar, I don't even see it, I know what this can do, I see that she's doing it, so I'm just going for it.
Yeah, it wasn't something I was worried about per se. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely something that
Okay.
I came across, and for a
Mm-hmm.
while I didn't really get it. You know, like to me, I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I made this work. Like if I can make this work,
Yeah.
anyone can. And
Yeah.
it did take me a while to realize that there was definitely
Mm-hmm.
other reasons between the lines that I wasn't understanding, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I think
Okay.
that takes just some like skill and wisdom and finesse to realize
Mm-hmm.
that just because people say they can't afford it, there might be a
Mm-hmm.
lot more going on behind the scenes, either
Yeah.
skepticism about MLM or
Mm-hmm.
skepticism about oils or
Mm-hmm.
fear from their best friend who's doing oils and they don't want to hurt their feelings. Like there's so many reasons in there.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So yeah, but and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'd say one of the advantages I had starting was that I did know a lot of people as a doula who really trusted
Mm-hmm.
me. You know, as a doula, you build trust. So
Ah,
I
yeah.
definitely called, you know, I called upon my
Mm-hmm.
network and I called and just said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, like this is literally the phone call I had 20 times in a row, you know, for
Wow.
like a couple days straight of, hey, like I'm starting something new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to teach people how to use essential oils. I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
nervous and excited. Are you in,
Mm-hmm.
like, do you think you and your friends would want to learn about oils? Would you
Mm-hmm.
do me a favor and get some people together so that I can practice teaching? That
Mm-hmm.
like that conversation over and over and over again,
Wow.
to old doula clients, to friends, to people,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whoever, and then I just started meeting new people. You just meet new people, and when you run out of people
Wow.
to call, you just go make some more friends, which is one of my favorite things.
I'm so glad you do that well. I'm still working on that, but it's all good.
It's okay. Well, and you know, to the point,
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing it so long now that
Mm-hmm.
like people approach me way more than the other way around now. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that like if you stick with it long enough and you have that consistency
Mm-hmm.
long enough, people start
Yeah.
coming to you. When they think of oils, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that girl Sam. She does oils. Let me ask her."
Wow.
It
Very
becomes a lot easier for sure.
And so I think that's really something that you keyed on is that consistency, because when people see that, okay, this isn't just some sort of passing fad for you, that this really
Right.
is your thing, and that they're seeing how it's making a world of difference in these different parts of your life. And then it's, oh, okay. I mean, I'm not necessarily commenting, I'm not necessarily liking, I just kind of see it
Mm-hmm.
as I'm scrolling through my feed and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Um,
Totally.
yeah, and so I love how you touched about upon that even in your boot camp of just it's typically, what is it, 7 to 12 contacts that people will
Mm-hmm.
have before they make that
Mm-hmm.
decision. So
Yeah,
seeing
or
it on your
exposures. Yeah.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
So whether they're seeing it on your feed or they're seeing it on somebody else's feed or they're seeing it in somebody's Insta stories or they're seeing a class or whatever, each of those are touch points. So it's the make sure that you're in there and that you're the one that they're going, oh yeah, I know that I could connect with her and she'd hook me up. So
Yeah.
good
Well
deal.
said. Totally.
Now you did mention that you are in a small town, and I'm trying to figure out where is Boone close to Charlotte? No.
So if you know where Charlotte is and you know where Asheville is, Boone is sort
Okay.
of in the middle between them. So we are
Oh.
almost as far west as you can go in North Carolina, like
Oh.
40, 35 minutes to the Tennessee border.
Oh, okay, very cool. Which
So it's
means,
in the Appalachian Mountains.
ah, beautiful.
It's
You guys have the
beautiful, yeah.
mountains and yeah, we're out in Western Tennessee. We have the river. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Wait, you're in Tennessee? How did I not realize this?
Yeah, I'm
Where are
over in
you?
Memphis. Yeah, in Memphis.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
All the way on the other
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
So funny. Um, but you're in this relatively small town, and you've already mentioned that there's you, and there's your sponsor, Becky. And is Becky a platinum?
She's Royal Crown Diamond now.
So she's a
Back
Royal Crown Diamond
then,
now.
when she signed me up, she was
Mhm.
just about to hit platinum, I believe.
Okay, got it. So she's a Royal Crown Diamond with a Royal Crown Diamond above her, and
Not in
then
the
you
same
were
town
now,
though.
pardon?
Her sponsor's not in the same town.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, because that was the question I was going to ask is that people will then go, but there's so much saturation in my market. And I'm going, okay, so that you're dealing with at least 3 individuals who are living
Hmm.
within a 25-mile radius
Yeah.
who have thousands of people underneath them combined. So,
Lydia, I wish that people complained to me more right now about saturation. I swear, when people complain to me about saturation was when my
Mhm.
business was just like on fire, just snowballing. Because
Wow.
like when people say saturation, all they really mean is that they've been hearing about essential oils a lot. So and so here is doing Young
Mm.
Living, or oh yeah, my friend,
Mhm.
did an oil class the other day. Oh yeah, I saw an oil class the other day. That is
Mhm.
gold. Like the more that people
Mhm.
are being exposed to oils,
True.
way easier to have them join. And like yeah, maybe they'll join with
Mhm.
someone else. So
Mhm.
what? Like, someone else is going to join with you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, if you can
Yeah.
just focus on, sure, everyone else is doing this, but I'm the only
Mhm.
me doing this.
True.
I'm the only Samantha doing this. I'm the only Lydia doing
Mhm.
this. And like, you are
Mhm.
so awesome. And I know, and like
Yeah.
specifically you, Lydia, I just adore you. I think you're
Oh.
amazing, And so, like, I know that, if I lived in your town and there was everyone on the face of the planet doing oils, and
Mhm.
I haven't joined yet, and I met you in a heartbeat,
Mhm.
I'd sign up with you.
Oh.
I'd be like, oh, you do oils? I've been hearing about them everywhere. Like, yes, I want to get
Yeah.
started. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, saturation is a total myth, and it really is actually a good
Mhm.
sign when you're seeing people
Yeah.
talking about everyone's doing it. It's like, yeah, that's because it's awesome, and you want to do it too. And then people go,
Exactly.
yay,
So she should get in on this. And I love that you
Exactly.
said that. Because it's so true. And it's something I've been really walking through a lot lately of just realizing that the beauty of Young Living is that at least as a culture, it's not a competitive culture. It's a
Mm-mm.
you are uniquely you and be you, and the people who are attracted to who you are and how you do life and how you use how you walk out the Young Living lifestyle, that's what's going to
Mm-hmm.
bring them to you. And so
Yeah.
it's not somehow I have to be like somebody else or I have to
Mm-mm.
mimic this person. And so I'm even in that process of, again, figuring out what that means. I mean, it really is helpful when there's pre-made graphics. Pre-made graphics are awesome,
Right.
but pre-made graphics don't all of a sudden make people go, oh, I love that font. I must have her kit. I mean, that's
Exactly.
not,
Thank you. Thank you. It's not how it works,
it's
people.
not how it works.
No.
Uh, and so it is being in that place of don't be afraid to be yourself. I mean, what is it?
Yeah.
What's the phrase that I hear? Yeah, just be a freak. Be your freak.
Raise
Be
your freak flag.
weird.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
Weird.
I wanted to mention too with the sort of
Yeah.
saturation thing, like when I was first getting
Mhm.
started, my business grew as a direct result of the cross line relationships that I built as well. I mean,
Oh.
I really worked closely with some of my cross line that like were, Becky had signed up so and so, and so they
Mhm.
were cross line to me, and we would
Mhm.
do vendor events together. We would do classes together. I have a
Mhm.
cross line, Chrissy, who I adore, who is
Oh,
in Chicago. She
Chrissy.
was in Chicago, and we
Yeah.
both started and launched our businesses at the same time. And I was like,
Mhm.
I really want to do a webinar, but I've never done one before. I'm really scared. Like, who wants to like
Mhm.
help me do this? And Chrissy was like, I do. And so we did tons of webinars together in the beginning,
Wow.
totally crossline. And still
Mhm.
to this day, I work very closely with my crossline because they get me and we have the same
Yeah.
energy and we're not afraid to
Mhm.
experiment. And,
Yeah.
and then the chips just sort of fall where they do. And so,
Very
don't
cool.
be afraid of utilizing your crossline. Like they are valuable and you will help each other
Mhm.
grow. A rising tide raises all ships, right?
Exactly, always. That's so good. Yay! Yeah, I love my cross-line friends. My cross-line friends are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then I was going to ask, in addition to that, um, I will ask about the podcast towards the end because I want to make sure that we focus on business. Because if not, again, we would just talk about podcasting and doulas, and it would be awesome. But
We'll just start a podcast called Podcasting Doulas.
that's awesome. So, um, for you at this point at Gold, this is your full-time work, but in a sense, is it your full-time work? I meaning, from where you were when you were first starting, because I feel like we had this conversation a few months ago. I was just, okay, explain to me what things looked like for you when you were first starting and you were making your way from I've got a box to basically silver. So what did that process look like? And so what was the workflow like then and what does that workflow and balance look like now?
I mean, I'm trying to think of how to answer this without going through my entire life journey. But,
Yeah.
I'll say in a nutshell,
Mm-hmm.
starting out and that the first, I'd say, year and a half to 2 years, starting
Mm-hmm.
out, I worked way more hours than I do now. Way
Mm-hmm.
more. I worked fervently. I worked till three
Mm-hmm.
o'clock in the morning. I worked,
Mm-hmm.
I was on my phone constantly, to a
Mm-hmm.
point where it was definitely not healthy. It was
Yeah.
not good. And
Yeah.
and I think that's okay. I think we all like have to kind of go through those crazy hustle
Mm-hmm.
times at some points
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you need. And
Mm-hmm.
now I just don't feel like I need that. And I feel like I've
Yeah.
learned over the years, like people forget that when
Mm-hmm.
people start out in network marketing, typically they have zero business experience. They're brand new
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs, they're brand new
Yeah.
marketers, they're brand new
Mm-hmm.
networkers. And so we don't know
Mm-hmm.
what the heck we're doing,
Exactly.
And so we make all the mistakes and we do all the
Mm-hmm.
wrong things and we spend all our time and energy at the wrong places. And yes, our upline
Yeah.
is trying to help us avoid these mistakes, but
Mm-hmm.
they're just mistakes that have to be made sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I made all those mistakes and used my time pretty unwisely a lot of the times,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just where I was.
Yeah.
And now I don't. I'm trying to think of how many hours I actually work directly in my Young Living business. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be honest, for the past like year, it's probably been less than 5 hours a week. And I've
Wow.
plateaued. Like I've completely plateaued. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that if I want to get to that next level, like I've got to get in that
Mm-hmm.
hustle mode again. But one of my
Yeah.
favorite quotes ever is
Mm-hmm.
that good is the biggest killer of great.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, when I first started my Young Living business, I was on
Mm-hmm.
fire
Yeah.
because my life sucked. Like, I hated being
Yeah.
poor. Like, being
Yeah.
poor just sucks. Pardon the
Yeah.
language. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had this huge fire under me because, like, I just
Mm-hmm.
had to change our circumstances. And this
Yeah.
was my answer, right?
Yeah.
And then once I kind of hit silver and got that like high silver paycheck and then hit gold, I was like, oh man, life is good now. I mean, not that money
Yeah.
solves all your problems, but not
Yeah.
stressing about money constantly 24/7 does
Exactly.
solve a lot of problems. And
Mm-hmm.
so, since I've been in that sort of cushy, comfortable space for a while, I've
Mm-hmm.
gotten complacent and I've gotten a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
dare I say, lazy, and kind of lost that hustle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, I've got these new projects on the horizon that I'm really excited about, and I'm excited to like deep dive into my business again. And that's gonna look like
Oh.
probably working, I don't know, 20 hours a week on my business. Like you don't need to
Mm-hmm.
spend more than 20 hours a week on your business, even when things are really
Mm-hmm.
at their max. But then at the
Yeah.
same time,
Mm-hmm.
Young Living gave me the opportunity to learn about the entrepreneur inside of myself. And
Mm.
so that's turned into other things. It's turned into
Yeah.
creating and hosting the world's top ranked essential oil podcast, which is its own business, right? It's
It
not a Young
is.
Living
It is.
business. It's its
Yeah.
own business with its own income streams, with its own task
Mm-hmm.
and things like that.
Exactly.
Um, and then this year, I also have been given the opportunity to host the Essential Oil Transformation Summit, which this is the first time I've talked
Ooh.
about publicly, but that will be in
Ah,
October. And
so
it's
exciting.
this really huge opportunity. I'm so, so excited
Mhm.
about it. But it's a
Yeah.
completely separate thing from my Young Living business.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's taking a lot of time away as well. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just my personality. I've never been very good at just doing one thing, and that's
Yeah.
definitely one of my kryptonites for growing my Young Living business is I really suffer from that
Mm-hmm.
shiny silver ball syndrome of, ooh, let
Yeah.
me go do this fun thing
Yes.
over here, so and that, like I said before, I wear my heart on
Mm-hmm.
my sleeve. I don't know even how to keep a secret, so I just lay it all out and tell you, like, these are the challenges I deal with in
Yeah.
my business, and here's the
Mm-hmm.
mistakes I've made, and
Yeah.
we're all human.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that's true. I don't know if I asked you that in terms of what was your greatest struggle or what's one of the your most um I could go with what your greatest struggle is, but I feel like it'd be better to say what's the struggle area that you're most proud of that you were able to overcome?
Oh, what a great question.
Yeah.
My biggest struggle area that I was able to overcome, I'd say the work-life balance thing. That
Mm-hmm.
was extremely challenging for me in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I just had no idea what that looked like. And it took me a
Mm-hmm.
really long time to learn how to do that. And now, I mean, I'm way more productive when I do work. I make way more money than I ever did when I was hustling.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me a really long time to learn how to do that,
Yeah.
and looking back, I'm like, oh my God, all those times I neglected my children or ignored my husband or
I know.
didn't ever, wasn't a good friend, or all those moments that you're
Yeah.
like, I was so focused on Young Living,
Yeah.
and so that, and now I say I feel like I'm at a place where I have
Mm-hmm.
found what works for me and how to find those balances, and it feels
True.
really good. Yeah,
That's so good. Yay. There's hope. There's hope. So we can make this
definitely,
happen. Oh my
definitely.
gosh. Okay,
I'll tell
so
you
for
my
your
quick tip for that if someone is struggling is
yes.
my phone is 24/7 on silent mode. 24/7.
Ooh.
I don't get
Yeah.
any sounds coming through my phone except for phone rings. So I have that setting where it allows a phone call to come through.
Oh.
Um, because, no one calls unless it's really important, unless it's a telemarketer, and I hate that. But, that's, it is what it is. But yeah, so, I go to Facebook, I go to Messenger, I go to
Mhm.
whatever when it's my time to do
True.
that, instead of my phone telling me when it's time to look at it. I tell my phone when I'm going to
Mm.
look at it. And then I look and I'm like, oh, look, a message from so
Oh,
and so and
no.
so and so and so and so. And it works fine.
Very cool. That's so good. I will have to incorporate that more. Actually, I was just having a conversation with a friend about that earlier today of just how she's just, yeah, you have to be willing to create those starts and those stops and have boundaries because if not, you're bleeding, basically. Just okay. I don't
Yeah,
want to believe.
absolutely.
Um, so for your own team as a gold level, what are some things that that you've incorporated to your business culture wise? Um, because I know, for example, so right now I'm a senior star moving towards executive, and I'm just, people are just joining. So I really haven't thought about oh yeah, I'd like for my team to look like this or feel like this and this. Was that something that you were intentional about doing, or was it just, I guess, an offshoot of your personality and just your own values? Was that something that you had to work specifically on, or did it just kind of happen? Is basically what I'm asking.
I guess so. Are you asking about like the culture of my? I guess I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. So so for your builders, for your team builders, is it one when they're coming in that you're very much in the okay, cool, this is what you need to do with getting yourself up and running and started, or is it almost more like what Becky did of, you know, just pace yourself. It's cool. Is it laid back? Is it really hard focused and just run for it? Is it um yeah, so those different pieces. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah, definitely more of the latter now.
Okay.
In the beginning, I think I was very much more like, "Ooh, you want to start a business? Let me," la, 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 la,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that
Hmm.
never works. That just freaks people out. So,
Yeah.
so don't do that.
Mhm.
But it's, you're so excited for these people. So I
Mhm.
think definitely over the years, I've learned from my sponsor Becky, and actually Becky's
Mhm.
my enroller. She actually placed me under Katie, who's my sponsor, which is another story.
Oh, yeah.
And so Katie and Becky are both really, really good at the whole sort of
Mhm.
sitting back and being the
Mhm.
most amazing like cheerleader and confidant
Mm.
without being overbearing at the same
Very
time. And I've
cool.
tried to kind of emulate that as I go, but it's
Mhm.
not quite, it doesn't come naturally to me because I'm like a huge red personality, so I'm like, well, I know how
Yeah,
to do this and I'm going to tell you how to do it, right? That's not
exactly.
how people learn, and
Yeah.
you've got to let people kind of come to you, and you've got to be there
Mhm.
to listen and be there to encourage and
Mhm.
build the relationship. That's the most important part, and it's been taking me
Mhm.
a while, but as far as
Yeah.
my team culture goes too, I've really try to like stay in touch with everyone as personally as I can. So I don't try to make it
Very
all just
cool.
about Young Living. If you've ever heard
Mhm.
of an app called Voxer, it's like a walkie-talkie app. I use
Mm.
that
Okay.
a lot with my team. I love having
Very cool.
conversations with them via Voxer, and like I
Okay.
have a Facebook message group that's just my like
Mhm.
key builders that I kind of send
Mhm.
like the most important information to and cheer them
Mhm.
on. Um,
Very
but yeah, I
cool.
feel like my I love my team. They're just amazing. I wish I could. I'm gonna hang out with six of them at the beach next weekend. They all want a prize from me, and I'm taking them all to the beach for a weekend. I'm really excited.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, because even that in terms of team culture is not necessarily true for everyone of um, with connecting with their builders on a personal level of just, hey, you know what, let's just go out for coffee. Let's hear about how your family's doing. What are some of the
Right.
struggles that you're having? How is it that I can, be um, in prayer for you, support you, help you? And not to say that that's the only way to do it, because for some it's just it's better to keep distance or not. But I love that that's something that you were able to incorporate into your team because it's part of what you were seeing within um, your own enrollers and rollers
Mm-hmm.
story, being able to bring that to
Yeah.
your team. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I never get a message from Katie that's like, "Hey girl, how many people did you enroll this month?" Or, "Hey, like you're super close to this goal rank, like, you
mhm,
should do this and this and this." She's always just
yeah.
like, "Hey, how you doing?" in such an authentic
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Hmm. Very cool. Very cool. And I don't think we've actually touched on this at all, so I'll make sure to ask this. So when you got started, I guess you sort of did. So when we were getting started with this as a business, it was from the place of, okay, we are wanting to change our income structure. We're wanting to be in a completely different place where we're not dealing with food stamps, we're not dealing with EBT, we're not dealing with just all the different pieces that come with that. Not just financially, but even emotionally, and dare I say spiritually, of just being that really kind of heavy place. So, what was part of your why in terms of when it got really, really hard, you were able to go, okay, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to dig deep because this is the reason why I'm even in the midst of all this in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what you already touched on,
Mm-hmm.
but I think at the root of that
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that I'm the kind of person that loves my family to death. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just love, who doesn't? But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like I just get choked up every time I just think about my husband, how much I freaking love that man. You know, he's just the
Yeah.
most amazing person on the
Mm-hmm.
planet. I mean, not just the most
Yeah.
amazing husband and father, but just the most amazing person. And
Mm-hmm.
and to see someone who I love so much like that, really have no other option besides going to his 9 to 5, or really it was more like
Mm-hmm.
8 to 6, like every
Mm-hmm.
day, in and out, coming home
Yeah.
tired every day. Like, I mean, part of it was
Mm-hmm.
this selfish reason of like, I just want to spend more time with my husband because I love him, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that time, you know, of like,
Mm-hmm.
gosh, time is so valuable. And when you look at
Yeah.
how much time you give away for the sake of work, it's
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
so depressing, right?
Yeah,
And
it is.
so I saw, you know, Young Living as that opportunity of not just changing our income structure, but changing
Mm-hmm.
our options, just giving us more
Yeah.
options of like, let's, you know, take off Fridays and
Mm-hmm.
let's, you know, stop work at 2 o'clock and go to the river or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
being able to do that is just like beyond words
Yeah.
amazing. It's just such a gift. I'm the kind of
Mm-hmm.
person that really needs freedom. I've never been a good
Mm-hmm.
employee. I like when I work, you know, for someone else and I have to be at this certain place at this certain
Mm-hmm.
time. I can do it for a while, but after a while,
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know,
Yeah.
it just feels like I'm in a cage, and no one likes to feel
Mm-hmm.
that way. And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Um I can definitely say, and that's right. I think you just had an anniversary, correct?
8 years married, 12 years together. Yeah. Mm,
Yay, that's so cool. Happy anniversary.
thank
Yeah, it is.
you.
Um, yeah, I mean, even thinking about my own husband's, and it's interesting. The person we interviewed last month, so Stacey Lloyd Wright, was saying the same thing about wanting to be in that place where she could give that freedom to her husband, so
Hmm.
that because she just loves him and she really wants to be able to have him to walk in that freedom if he so chooses, and to not be in this place of, okay, I have to do this work.
Hmm.
So that is
Yeah.
so cool. And that's right. Is Sean growing the business with you, or is he? He's
It's a long story. Well, we learned pretty quickly that Mr. Carpenter, his entire life, did not do so well sitting in front of a computer all day, trying to, which was not super surprising. But that the
yeah.
plan was he quit his
Mm-hmm.
job. He would come, like,
Mm-hmm.
essentially work with me, but really it was more
Yeah.
like work for me, because I mean, with the
Yeah.
podcast and with the Ugly Living
Yeah.
stuff, I just have a bunch of like assistant
Mm-hmm.
type work that needs to get done,
Yeah.
that I was
Mm-hmm.
hiring an assistant to do. And we said,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you quit your job, then and
Mm-hmm.
you replace my assistant, then I won't be spending money paying that person, and then like it will
Mm-hmm.
make this work, like it'll work financially.
Yeah.
And so it was just, he did not enjoy computer work. It's not his skill set, which of course in
Yeah.
hindsight I'm going, why did I think he could do this? So, and it's good. It's a great,
Yeah.
it's a great place to
Yeah.
know that
Mm-hmm.
that is never going to be, which is okay. Because
Yeah.
in the beginning, I
Yeah.
always thought like, oh, we'll build the Young Living business together and it'll be so great.
Yeah.
And it kind of puts a lot of pressure off to just go, nope, like he's going to do his own thing and I'm going to do my own thing. And that is totally fine. So
Yeah.
it's funny. So it's not to say we didn't work well together, because we do. We
Mhm.
work really well together and we love spending time together. It's just that he did not
Yeah.
have the skills necessary for that
Yeah.
job, nor
Mhm.
the fire to go build his own Young Living business. Like for a while, I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, honey, you go teach classes and you go, do this, you like
Mhm.
do that thing," and
Mhm.
it's just not suited for everyone. Yeah,
Mhm. And that's totally good. I mean, it's the same
totally
way
good. Yeah,
you will very rarely see my husband. He is sweet, he is wonderful. He is a renovator. That is his heart. If money and time were no objects, he would just renovate all day long and
yeah,
absolutely loves it. And he does a beautiful job with it. And it's he does a desk job because that's what he does. But if
yeah,
you gave him a choice, he'd rather be working with his hands. So I'm just okay.
yeah,
I'd love for you to continue doing that. So
yeah,
yay.
yeah.
Okay, so let's see. If you did have someone, and we're gonna just wrap it up. If you had someone who was watching this, who is either on the fence about getting started with this as a business, or is just just really not sure of where they stand with all this, but they're kind of on the fence. They're just okay. What's something that you would say to them in terms of encouraging them to start the business?
Mm, Um, well, I really only have one, like, it's more of a question for that person is
Mm-hmm.
where are you at right now with your life?
Mm-hmm.
Finances, like freedom in time. Do you enjoy your work? Are you being challenged? Like, where are you right now? And is
Mm-hmm.
that where you want to be? Are you okay here? Like, are you
Mm,
okay here?
yeah,
And some people are going to say, like, yeah, actually, I kind of really like the stability of my job. I like what I do.
yeah.
I like having a boss, or I
Mm-hmm.
like being, a stay at home mom and not trying to
Mm-hmm.
juggle business at the same time. Like, I'm good. And I'm
Yeah,
like, great. That's great. Like,
yeah,
just stay there. But
yeah.
if you're looking at your life and your
Mm-hmm.
answer is, I'm not really satisfied with where I'm at. Like, I do want
Mm-hmm.
more. I want
Yeah.
more income. I want more spending
Mm-hmm.
money. I want more time freedom. I want more
Mm-hmm.
challenge. I want
Yeah.
more friends. Like, this business, definitely, you make a lot of
Oh
friends.
yeah.
You know, if the answer is, I do want to go somewhere else. And wherever that
Mm-hmm.
other place is, whatever those goals are or dreams are, they can be as big or as little as you want. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The only question is, what else can take you there?
True.
If you're not
Yeah.
happy where you're at and you want to get to this other place, realistically, what are your options that are going to get you there? Are you going to win the
Yeah.
lottery? Are you gonna
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna go
Yeah.
back to school and get a different degree and then go,
Mm-hmm.
get a more secure job or a different job? Are you gonna marry a sugar daddy? Are you gonna,
Keep it
wait for
real.
your parents to die and
Yeah.
inherit, your
Yeah.
inheritance? Are you gonna
Yeah.
get really good at stock marketing? Like,
Yeah.
there are other ways to
Mm-hmm.
change your life.
Yeah.
There are.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
really just ask yourself, okay, where do I want to go
Mm.
and what are my options to get there? And
Yeah.
to me, I think Young Living is just one of those options that can take people where they want to go. And if it's a good
Mm-hmm.
fit, then go for it. If you
Cool. Yeah.
enjoy health and wellness, if you enjoy helping
Mm-hmm.
people live
Mm-hmm.
better lives, or if you really
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the business aspect and you love helping people change their
Mm-hmm.
lives in that way, or what,
True.
there's so many different reasons that people could
Mm-hmm.
click with Young Living. It's not just about this one thing. So if
Yeah.
that clicks for you and that's an option for you, then just think about that, because if not this, then what?
Exactly. Very cool. That's such a great question for a question. It's so good. I think I've covered everything. Um, I could get all of just, what's your vision and mission statement? But honestly, if they were to tune into your podcast, I feel that they would get a pretty good understanding as to what it is that really matters most to you. And it is being in that place where you're empowering people and reminding them that that they're worth it. They really are. That their dreams are worth pursuing, their goals are worth fighting for and their families are worth fighting for. And so as long as they're willing to make it happen, they can make it happen.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Yay.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Lydia. This was fun. I'm not normally up this late, and it's like, honestly, I could use a good, like, little work night session because I used to have those a lot. And lately I haven't. So I'm like, great, I'm all jazzed up. I'm going to get some shit done. Oh, sorry. Language.
Get your nitro out. Get your nitro. It's all good. It's all good. It's late, so the kids are all asleep. It's totally
is,
fine.
exactly, yeah.
Unless you're in California. No, it's fine.
Right. Yeah. Thanks so
All right.
much, girl. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks again. And to everyone who tuned in, I'll make sure to type up in the bar some information so you can connect with the amazing Samantha Lee Wright and check out her podcast and with some of the other projects she has going on. If there are websites and ways to connect on that as well, we'll make that available. So have a great night, everyone.
And just know everything lives under SamanthaLeeWright.com. So podcast, summit, boot camp, like everything you're looking for will be in there. So
Perfect. So I'll just put that one-stop shop. I should have known because you're a website gal, which is totally
I do
your
like
gal.
building websites. It's
There
fun.
you go. All right, friends. Well,
Take
have
care.
a great
Bye,
night.
lady.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.